Hello, I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor, and I wanted to talk today about something that I think is so basic to what people are experiencing these days. It's about the idea of settling for something. Whether you're settling in your relationship, you're settling in your life in general, you're settling. And what that word really means is to accept something that is less than you hoped for. And yes, maybe we had unrealistic expectations and we have to take responsibility for those. But if you're settling in your life, if it's just okay or not really what I wanted, but I put up with it, then you may be not only getting less than you want, you may be getting less than you deserve. And again, that's something you have to figure out because you may be someone who is afraid to deserve things. And that's always a possibility for some people. But I know that you deserve to take up space and draw breath and use your space on the planet to talk about who you are, to do the things that you value, to demonstrate your vision for your life, to know what you believe and demonstrate that daily, and to know what your purposes are at this time in your life. And if you're settling for anything less than that, big question. Why? Is it something within yourself that doesn't believe you deserve, as I mentioned earlier? Or is it that you started out really well and then slowly things began to get less than and less than and less than? Or have you lost energy or have you lost interest? These are just good things to know about yourself. If you've lost energy for something, take the time to figure out why. If you have lost interest in something, figure out why, and it's all right to stop. One of the favorite things that I ever heard, I was at a conference in, 1981, and Marilyn Ferguson, she was the author of a book called The Aquarian Conspiracy, and she said this, and it may be a little bit more than you want to hear, but I will just share it with you. She said, that old adage, if something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. And of course, hello, this is Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, and I am so sorry that you've been listening and there hasn't been any sound. But I wanted to talk about something today that's really important, and that is the idea of settling in your life. Do you settle for things, or are you actually expecting better? The word to settle actually means to accept something that's less than you hope for. Now, yes, some people have really high expectations and things are perhaps going to be a little less than you hoped for, but so many people just had an expectation to have a happy life, to be respected, to be loved, to be cherished, to have honesty in their life, to have trusting relationships, to be able to feel they can rely on another human being. Those are not unrealistic expectations. And if that's what you hoped for, then I hope you're not settling for less than you hoped. But if you are, ask yourself the question, why is it? Now, because I know you've been following my page for quite a while, that I talk about not settling in relationships. In particular, I talk about relationships with those relentlessly difficult and often disturbing toxic people that I call hijackals. So if you happen to be in a relationship with one of those, you're settling. And you need some skills and things to find that. One of the best ways to do that is to go to my podcast, Save Your Sanity. And you can find my podcasts on my website at forrelationshiphelp.com. Just click on the podcasts in the navigation bar. But settling in life, sometimes we just do that. And sure, every now and again, we just want to coast a bit. It's not about having a judgment about it. All I want to do today is talk to you to bring some awareness to this. What are you settling for? I bet something came to mind right then. that you're getting less than you really wanted. And it's important. Now, if you have questions for me, be sure to put them right in the comments box, and I will see them and I will answer them as they come in. But ask yourself, what am I settling for? You might even want to write that in the comments box, because we do settle. You know, sometimes we settle for treating ourselves poorly. You know, of course, there's always that old thing that we talk about in terms of New Year's resolutions about, you know, you're going to go and exercise, you're going to have a gym membership. Well, that's a good one to think about. Like, if you promise yourself something, that you promise that you're going to take care of yourself, and you promise yourself half an hour at the gym or a half an hour walk 3 or 4 times a week, and you don't give that to yourself, why? Why are you settling for less than what you want from you? So it can be as basic as starting right there. And I hope it isn't, but if it is, great wake-up call today. Whoa, I'm not treating myself so well, so why do I expect other people to treat me well? And you know, there's a reciprocal thing that happens there. If I treat myself well, other people tend to do it too, because I will demonstrate that I have boundaries. I'm not settling. Now, remember that definition of to settle. It is to accept something that is less than you hoped for. So are you accepting that from yourself? Because that goes straight to that idea of deserving. That you deserve to be healthy. You deserve to be happy. And that's an inside job, that happiness business. Nobody else is going to make you happy. That's on you. But you are the one we're talking about right now. So are you treating yourself well, or are you settling for less? You know, big question. Now, you know that I talk about difficult and toxic relationships so much, and that I trademarked the term hijackals. Now, if you're in a relationship with a person who is toxic, difficult, even disturbing, you can always go to my website, forrelationshiphelp.com, and listen to my podcast, Save Your Sanity, Help for Handling Hijackals. Do that right away. I mean, not right now because we're talking, but do that right away when we're finished, because that's gold for you. That will help you right away. And if you think you may be with a hijackal, download my free ebook at hijackals.com. I'll put it right in the post right now. And it is, here it is for you. It is free, and it's called How to Spot a Hijackal. So there it is. And you want to, I hope it's there. Yes, it is. And there it is. So you need to know if you're with a hijackal. Now, I've written all over the place, so just, you know, you can do that. But I want to talk to you right now about settling for somebody treating you less than you hoped for. Now, yes, sure, sometimes we have wild and crazy high expectations of humans and ourselves, and we have to temper that, because there aren't too many saints on the planet, and we may not be one of them. However, if you're settling for something less than you hoped for, why? You know, I always talk about, even if you're in a relationship with a hijackal, that unless there is physical or sexual abuse going on, always do your own work. And that applies to every human on the planet. Always do your own work before you try to fix a relationship with another human. And you can do those two things together. You can work on yourself while working on a relationship with another human. And I often do. Couples come to see me and we do it that way. However, do your own work. Are you familiar with yourself in a sense of knowing what it is you value? Do you know what your vision for your life is? Do you know what your beliefs are about everything? Not just spiritual beliefs, but how do you believe relationships work? What do you believe is a healthy relationship? What do you believe is the way money works, or the way a home works, or the way a family works? You really need to think about all those things so you won't be settling. You know yourself well. And too many people don't spend any time with themselves. It's almost like they're afraid that if they sit down and are silent and just see what comes into their mind, they might meet themselves and not like themselves. So they go off and they get busy, busy, busy. And we live in a world that kind of prizes be, do, have, more, rinse, repeat. Be, do, have, more, rinse, repeat. And so we can be very busy and we can make ourselves ill being very busy. And somehow we think that's going to give us a great big gold star. And it isn't. It's going to make you unwell. And you deserve better. Don't settle for ill health that you can do something about. You know, I've had health challenges in my life, and I was told, oh, you know, you can't do anything about that. Well, I want you to know that the health challenge is gone, and I could do something about it. But the doctor who told me that I couldn't do much about it had a mindset that said, oh, well, that's just the way it is. No, I was not going to settle for that. And I fired that doctor, and I went on to use all kinds of different alternative things that helped me get well. And so that's a good example of not settling. Just because somebody with an MD, you know, that stands for medical deity, somebody with an MD tells you this is the truth about you and this is what's going to happen, don't settle. Know that you're valuable and go looking for more. So important. Now remember, you can put your questions in the comments and I'll see them. So how do we settle in relationships? Well, it's kind of that thing where everything is great and then it's just a tiny bit not great. So we keep thinking about it was really great. And then it's a tiny bit more not great. We think, oh, it'll get back to being great. And then it's a tiny bit more and a tiny bit more. And we're accepting this slip, this shift. In fact, we may be making justifications or excuses or rationalizations why this shift is occurring. But if those rationalizations, justifications, and excuses were worth their salt, then it would shift back up here. But it isn't. It just keeps deteriorating. Don't be settling for that. That's not okay. If you're in a relationship with a hijackal, I'll just put this in here. This is definitely going to happen. And as it happens, you begin to get to be less and less, and the hijackal is more and more. And when that occurs, you don't feel good. And yet you're a good person. So you scurry around and you think, if I'm just more loving, if I'm more nurturing, if I spend more time, if I'm more patient, if I'm more compassionate, if I'm less demanding, if I never mention what it is that's bothering me, if I don't ask for anything, then it'll be okay. No, that's all about settling. Please don't do that. You matter. You truly matter. And I want you to think about how you would change your behavior and your relationships if you really believed that you matter right down to your core. So I just wanted to have this little chat with you today about settling and how I would really like you to push that one to the side and not do it anymore, to actually take some steps to do something. Now, you can improve your life. For sure you can improve your life. I'm going to put this here. Because you can always work with me. And there, if you're a new client of mine, you get a special opportunity, which is to work with me for 1 hour so we can see the fit and whether you think I can help you for only $97. And you can schedule it right there. But the most important thing from today's message is that you start to think, am I settling? Because I deserve to have a great life. You deserve to have a great life. But we have to do the creating of that. And if somebody else has more power in our life than we do, whoops, not so good. So let's work together and get that fixed. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor. You can find me at FOR Relationship Help, HELP.com. Go to my YouTube channel. Lots of videos there to help you. The name of the channel is also For Relationship Help. So youtube.com/For Relationship Help. Thanks for being with me. I'm really glad you're here. I'm going to do these much more regularly now, and I hope you'll tune in and ask your questions. Talk soon.